Yo, 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 what's crack-a-lackin'? Let's go, guys. It is Thursday, August 27th, 10:30 a.m. here in Sydney, Australia. We got a lot to talk about. A lot has happened since we spoke last, and there is a lot in front of us. Wherever you are in the world, I say welcome. As you're tapping in, like this video. Let me know how you did last night. We had the Australian fights. You guys know. Man, talk about an emotional roller coaster. This is why betting on anything betting on anything isn't for the faint of heart. This is why I only bet on boxing in terms of like substantial amounts. And when you think about the roller coaster of just watching a fight just without the bet, and then you know what I'm saying, a slugfest back and forth without the bet, it's an emotional roller coaster. You don't even have to have a dog in the race. Sometimes you just tune in, and then let alone you have a bet, and let alone you do what I do and put everything out there, and let alone we have our community and we bet on it. It can be frustrating. I was frustrated last night with the zoo draw, only because of I think it's pretty clear why I would be frustrated, right? But there's a lot of things that went our way. You know what I'm saying? So in life, I'm not going to sit here and tell you it doesn't bother me, but my mindset has always been optimism. I'm probably the king of being able to find a silver line in dark situations in life. And the older you are, the more real life dark situations you go through and experience. And it all prepares us to deal with the present, which is right now. Whatever you're dealing with, we're just dealing with a loss. Now, I did do a hedge in, I know it's not your classical betting hedge, but for me it was. I used the two books that I have offered to me in Sydney are Bet365 and Sportsbet. We know all of my bets are from Sportsbet. I like the interface. I like the functionality. The odds are better. We also know on Sportsbet, if you make money line bets and it's a draw, you lose your ticket. So I then used Bet365 and did all my bets on Bet365 on the money line, and it hit because the zoo outcome got voided, but it was a fraction of the wager. I told you guys for the last fortnight that was my biggest bet of the year. And it was one of those moments where people behind the scenes that I don't talk about who are in my circle are always like, Johnny, when are you gonna bet more? When are you gonna bet more? And I'm always the one like, I don't do this for the gambling side. And you should wager way more than that. You could have won all of that. I'm like, these are past bets that have hit. And I'm like, that's not why I do it. And so when I finally go freaking heavy, when I finally pull the trigger and have enough nuts to go freaking heavy, it plays out like that. And hey, these are the breaks. My lesson from hedging using Bet365, I think if I could be disciplined, I think the move for me is to do, if I'm going to do prop bets, use sports bet. And speaking of that, I gave you guys two new tickets this morning, a knockout prop double, and then I also gave you a 5-leg money line, obviously plus money. And I think moving forward, if I could psychologically make the adjustment, I will continue to use sports bet for the props because the odds are so juicy because of the risk of the draw, right? And then use Bet365 for my money line bets. But that still doesn't protect all of you guys. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I kind of, because a lot of you guys went shoulder to shoulder with me last night, and some of you guys have books wherever you are in the world to where the draw voids it, like my Bet365 bet. And some of you guys, wherever you are in the world, don't have the option to have a Bet365 book. Some of you guys only have a sort of sports bet book to where you have to bet three-way and the draw will burn you. And that's why I'm bummed out too. Look, I've lost before. I'm disappointed that you guys lost because I know a lot of you guys listen to me. And one of the most frustrating things is with a loss like that is it's like from a technical standpoint, from what I do, the logic, the film study, the breakdown, and the analysis, it was spot on. So I can't find where I went wrong. I feel everything. I said it was going to go the distance. I thought it was going to be a close fight. I told you guys how good Ben Monty was. I told you he was a professional. I said I couldn't see him getting knocked out. I said I couldn't see him getting stopped. I said it was going to be nip and tuck, and it's exactly how it went. I just didn't think that they would give it to Monty, and I scored it. I've rewatched it. 8-4, and that's being nice. And oh well. We're gonna, you know what I'm saying? What could you do? We move on. We got business to take care of. If you guys have careers, if you run businesses, if you have families, if somebody gets sick, somebody gets hurt, or something bad happens, you can't just harbor on it for too long. You have to move on, and that's exactly what we're doing. And just guess what, baby? We're still good. We are up because we hit on everything except that. With the knockout props hit, I told you about Callum Peters, told you about Kira Rustin, Vegas Larfield money line. Everything hit. I told you about Cohen Muzadir. Everything hit. And it's like, dude, these are the games that we play. We sign up for this, and I truly have the best community online. I say it every live stream. I really mean it. I've watched over the last year of us growing our community together. I've watched a situation like that, like 8 months ago, that sort of situation would have gotten super toxic. I would have woken up with a bunch of hate mail, that sort of thing. And then I woke up and you guys are just super supportive. And it's just a testament to the trust that our community is building and growing as a community, not just with me. So thank you for that. And let's just look at the tickets real quick. And then I'm going to bring Julius on. The sniper wants to come on the live. We're going to talk about, we have a lot of work to get into because my book opened with a lot, many more fights. All right, so this is us. I do want to give a shout out to our community. This is Tipkin. This is when Foxtel in Australia were doing the YouTube prelims for the card, and he screenshot this and he put this in our Discord. Look at the boys, Barium's. This is our community out there rating the Foxtel No Limit live stream. I love this. This goes to show you. So Youngin goes Johnny, we up. Barium is in there. 9am in Amsterdam. Tipkin, JSB Insiders, we up. Kevin, JSB, and like, come on, dude. Like, seriously, this is what it's all about. And so we started the night on fire, man. Everything went to plan. And if you don't judge, like when I put these up, these are like my instant reactions, and this is why I don't put them on YouTube, because I get emotional. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I'm an emotional cat. I wear my emotions on my sleeve in the moment. So I'm talking my shit on these little shorts because I had to hear all week that Kira sucks. I had to hear all week that Kira was going to lose. I had to hear all week that Kira's opponent was going to beat him and that Kira never faced anyone like Simmons. And when this played out exactly how I thought it was going to play out, that's this reaction. It's me being honest, authentic in the moment, but my intentions are always playful. I'll talk my shit, but it's never meant to offend. And this is 50 cal. Same sort of thing. So this is our knockout double that hit, and this pays significantly. And this is also a lesson for you boys who you guys knew that I took Nikita on points as a prop. And then you guys also knew I took Kira and 50 cal by knockout. And one of you guys asked a couple live streams ago, Johnny, should I put all of them on one ticket? And I told you no. And I said, strategically speaking, I've been burned in the past. So what I like to do is separate my props. It's why usually I won't put props on a money line ticket usually, but we did and we hit. But I know some of you guys took all three of my props, Callum 50, Callum, Kira, and Nikita, and it lost because of the draw. But that's a lesson for you guys. That's a great learning moment. If you guys took all three props and didn't compartmentalize them like I did, and you lost and had nothing to show for, it's just a learning moment for you guys for strategy moving forward. And it's exactly why I do that when I give you all my tickets. And this is plus 122. This would have doubled your money, and this was taking Kira and 50 to get the knockout. And so our night started magnificently. And then this is another one. And so it started magnificently. You know what I'm saying? So like we're giving you back to every ticket we hit is doubling your money. I've heard guys online who sort of like, if they do share a plus money ticket, it's sort of like romanced, which is fine. Everybody has their own different styles. Jay knows boxing's in the back. Jay, just wait. Give me about 2 more minutes while I catch everybody up, and I'll bring you on. If you guys aren't following Jay Knows Boxing on YouTube, do it now. I'll drop his YouTube link. He's going to come on in about 2 minutes. But like we take this for granted in our community, creating plus money tickets because it's what we do, and that is Max Reeves. And dude, how tough was Firth though? Oh my God, Firth was like Firth just wouldn't go down, dude. I was like, is Firth gonna destroy our parlay? Is Firth gonna literally be our parlay killer out of his sheer toughness? But you know it. And then so this was the Max Reeves, Cohen, and Callum by knockout. So Callum fed us twice. That's how high I was on Callum. And if I would have been able to take Kira when I put this ticket in for knockout twice, I would have. And yeah, and that's that, right? That's right after that. I was so sad, dude. Okay, and this is the hedge on my end, in which I'm getting better. I use Bet365. I threw Reeves, Gratch, this is the A side one I told you guys about. You know, Reeves, Gratch, Cohen, Kira, Callum. But the wager on this was nowhere near my mortgage parlay. And look, I do want to say, and the mortgage parlay is here. I do want to say, you know, and this is the heaviest bet I've done in 2026, the heaviest wager, and I lost. It's fine. It would have doubled my money. It would have set me up for 2027, but it's all good. Lessons. And I also want to let you guys know, I'm never going to bet money that I can't afford to lose, whether it's a $20,000 bet or a $50 bet, wherever your range is. $50. Some people, it's tough out there, so I'm not assuming anything. If it's a $10 bet, 50,000, whatever you're betting, just make sure you're willing to lose it. And so when it loses, you're not hurting. Okay, I'm gonna bring Jay on right now. And this is the last thing, Jay, and then you're coming on like 10 seconds. This is our quarterly parlay. This is the silver lining I'm talking about. We started this June, July. It ends with Moses on the money line. That it will pay us plus 538. And then I think that brings us, yeah, okay. I'm going to bring Jay on real quick. My boy. Add to stage. What's up, Jay?
What's up, man? What's up?
How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Ready to eat.
Yeah, dude. Talk to me. What was your, like, because we all have our own individual experiences when we watch these fight cards. What was your experience watching that Aussie card?
Mm, I would say that I was surprised that they gave Mahoney as much credit as he did fighting majority fight on the back foot. I was very surprised about that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Did you think? How did you score it?
I mean, I thought we was gonna hit like 16, 16, 112, something like that. Um,
Yeah,
I,
yeah. It really it really deflated everybody. But the thing is, man, what I was actually impressed with Monty is that I expected him to fight on the back foot, to fight negative, but he, either Nikita. And I said, because the pick was the fight to go the distance and Nikita on points. Either Nikita didn't have the power to affect Ben, because Ben then chose to fight on the front foot. That is what sort of I was most kind of perturbed by, because I didn't expect Ben, after he felt Nikita's power in moments, to come on the front foot, and he was doing it in the later rounds. I don't know if that was because Nikita was fading and taking moments off, or it's just Ben wasn't worried about the power.
yeah, and just as a fan, Mozuder, whatever Mozuder versus
Colin Muzadare.
Musa Dare versus Beck, that's got to be fight of the year right there, candidate.
Mate, that was like, there was some, like, we got to see slugfests. We got to see, and this is what I think our community does really well, is we're able to focus fight to fight, whether it's a bet fight to fight or enjoying the craft of boxing without comparing it. I think some people get caught in this mental trap of comparing every boxing match that they're either watching or that's scheduled to, like, Floyd Mayweather versus whoever. Like you know what I mean? And it's just not it's just not a healthy way to look at the sport. You got to just appreciate it, whether it's Australian domestic, UK domestic, Japanese domestic, American domestic. All four have a different product and a different style of boxing. And I think this might be sound um, controversial, but when we're talking about aggression, like think about domestic levels globally of the countries I named or regions. I mean, you do you really see American domestic level C guys going to war like that? Like we see in Australia, like we see in Japan, like they're slugfests.
It's because in America, you're not gonna get on a major card unless you got some form of amateur background. It's very difficult. But I noticed, like in Australia, they be having rugby fighters, and it's like really it because of that, you're gonna have a more ball brawling style. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just a totally different product. That's the way I look at it. It's like it's still boxing, and it's kind of how like when you look at there's a big female card. And I don't have a lot to say about the female card this week, all things considered, the last few weeks. But when people try to talk negatively about the female cards, I just tell them, I'm like, look, it's just a different product. It's boxing, but you're doing yourself a disservice to compare it to, your favorite welterweight fighting for a world title.
Yeah, okay. I see Barry on boxing. Yeah, man, we can. It's a couple fights I see. It's
Yeah,
a
let's get
couple.
into it. Let's get into it.
It's a like Najee. I'm just like, hey, it reminds me of Yo-Yo versus Hernandez. Like, I don't think he's gonna stop him. And that's a fight that when they drop the distance odds, I would take that to go the distance. Um, but hey man, I'm leaning Carrillo.
Tell
I'm
me,
not I'm not
sell
in
sell, sell me on Carrillo, please.
Carrillo has he does not have high volume, but he's very accurate and he's a way harder puncher than Gallegos. And I can see Lopez getting caught because Lopez likes to brawl. And I don't think
Mhm.
Lopez knows who Carrillo is. I think like Carrillo is training, fully aware of who he's going to get in the ring with, but I don't think Lopez knows this. I think Lopez, as soon as it's going to be a pushover because he's an unknown, inherited Colombian. But I could see him catching him between shots. And Carrillo, man, he trains with Ball Santos. He does have somewhat of a team with him. He has a game plan. And prior to this, Najee Lopez has been in with cannon fodder guys who know, like I said, a pattern I speak, guys who think they're gonna lose, who don't come in thinking they're gonna win. And I think this is his moment. And what I would say, whenever they drop the odds, my play is gonna be the distance because that's gonna be plus money again. Uh, but Wills, um, it's like I said, I be telling my chat, tell people you do not, Carrillo. I see John Magma. Carrillo has stopped Olympians. He stopped undefeated Olympians. Carrillo, I feel like would have stopped Gallegos in 4 5 rounds max. If you know what I'm saying, I think it would,
You
and
think? See,
look,
my issue. You said about punching. Like Gallegos was coming off, the two fights with Khalil Ko, and the thing about my issue. Did you watch the Van Siclen fight, the Carrillo versus Van Siclen, where
yes,
Carrillo got dropped? I thought he should have lost that fight. They
mm,
gave him a split decision. I think that I like Carrillo's jab. I think early on, in the early rounds, from what I've seen on tape, Carrillo has a little bit of sharpness. He does like to time the counter, but I just don't think he's going to have the firepower to deal with Najee. I think the things that you're talking about, Najee's so-called flaws, his willingness to exchange, I think that's exactly what's gotten Najee to this point. I think that's what makes Najee dangerous because he's willing to do that. And I just don't think Carrillo is ready for that. I don't think he's going to be able to handle that because we know Najee can handle it.
This is what I would say. As a parlay piece, he ain't stopping Carrillo. But like, I don't think he's gonna stop him. If he wins, it's gonna be by decision, and I know they're gonna have the distance at plus money, similar to Yo Yo
Who is
and
the Olympian that Carrillo stopped?
Marco Delgado, whatever
Uh,
his name, was, guy from Ecuador.
so an Ecuador Olympian.
You
All right, so
know,
John, yep, go on.
another fight I'm looking at, Jordan White versus Luis um,
Valenzuela.
Valenzuela. Um, Jordan White, he has disappointed, but like I said, what I'm trying to work on a little different. I'm gonna try to make a distance parlay this week. Y'all be on the lookout, and I feel like on that Pro Box card, if I had to drop it right now, my quick parlay, I like Mendiro, I like Martinez, and I like both the White Valenzuela fight to go to distance, and I like Carrillo versus um,
Najee.
Lopez go to distance.
Okay, so you're saying so your play on the Najee fight is the distance, but you're saying that you do think that Carrillo is going to beat him on points.
If I, you know what I'm saying, I don't, because like, man, I've been learning, man. It's like the only time an underdog really wins, more I look at my database, if he's signed to the same promotional company. If a is rare that a guy, a inherited guy who's not on a promotional company, foreigner, because I'm just, because I feel like I could see Carrillo winning we seeing him win, but him not getting a decision. Because he is 33, but I see they're going to probably have Najee Lopez by knockout at like minus 200, and I say similar to Yo Hernandez, take it by distance.
Yeah, so they have on my book down here, Najee is 71% return. So $1.71 for the knockout, and the points are plus 250. Now, I just think that I watched an interview with RGBA, Coach Garcia. He was talking about Najee Lopez, and I've watched Najee this week. Garcia thinks that Najee is in a great spot to kind of not only get be successful in this matchup, but to put his name out there as the next in line in the division, considering how old the guys are at the top currently are. I think what's Najee 26?
Yes.
He's 26, kind of grown ass man division, learning on the go. When you think about his fight style, in the division he fights in, he's only 26. When I think about Diego Pacheco, one of the reasons why I really was favoring Diego, now Diego's resume is one of the best in my opinion of a lot of any fighter in Diego's division under the age of 25, 26 years old. They're kind of the same age. I think with Najee, I think getting hit in that style is what also makes him who he is. I don't know if Carrillo I've watched Carrillo get hurt before. I don't like the way Carrillo takes punches when he really gets hit. Like for me, it's if you haven't watched the Van Sicklen fight, watch the Van Sicklen fight. It was in 2023. They gave Carrillo a split decision. He was dropped in the seventh, and he doesn't wear punches well. And that bothers me when you're facing a guy who is sort of known for testing the chin. Like, I got to be honest too, man. Nobody expected Gallegos to be that durable. Gallegos, he fought Najee. He was fighting like a guy he was fighting for his career, Gallegos. And he took, you know what I'm saying? He took a goddamn beating and he was brave. And a lot of those exchanges on the ropes when Gallegos was on his back that Najee was getting caught with, I remember watching that fight. I was watching that fight thinking that Gallegos was fighting the fight of his life and it still wasn't good enough to beat Najee.
What I
So
see
that's just
happen,
my take.
what I see happen on that fight is that Najee gonna be hit hard and he's ever been hit before, and I see a solid ingredient playing. I think he gonna, cause he gonna get hit early on, clean, and I want to see what he does, cause I think it's gonna be the hardest punch he's ever took in his life, and I want to see how he reacts to it, cause I know he gonna get hit. but like I said, we've seen Carrillo. Um, you would say in that fight, but that guy Van Sidney was undefeated at the time. I mean, yes, he was.
But Van Sicklin was nowhere. I mean, when you look at Van Sicklin's tape and you look at the level of opponents he was going up against,
If you
it's
notice me, if you whenever they got a young guy, they hype him up as this monster. I like for him to fail in that situation, not lose, but not get him out of there. And you just said him by points, his going decisions plus money. I look for those fights,
yes,
distance and plus money. I just I love them, but yeah,
yes, it's a 10 rounder. I think it's a 10 rounder.
he's a. I mean, Carrillo's like I say, plus money is going on a distance. We love them plus money plays.
Well, if you like the plus money distance, Carrillo's paying plus 1100 to win on points. It's kind of like if you guys agree with what Jay is saying. I mean, the odds are insane. I mean, the plus 450 on the money line is the play I would play if you were on Carrillo. But yeah, I like Najee. I think 19% on the money line is a good. It'll add something juicy. But I'm probably gonna prop this up. I just don't know which way I'm gonna go yet. The boys are at. Have you? I know people. I've guys. Just to let you know, I've taped Artravius Ingram, and he's fighting Bray. He's fighting a 21-year-old. But anything else on this card? Because the chat's going wild right now. There's over 95 in here. They're asking about the Baranchik fights, the Bray fights.
Mhm.
The what else on your mind? We knew the Najee one. What other one that you got a good read on?
Um,
Cardina, did you say Ramon? Or you know what? Have you taped? Because there's a prop that I like, and I already have action on it. It's the two, Broncos back, Mauricio Lara, and then also Brandon Mosqueda. Mosqueda and Lara, in my opinion, are both in good spots to go up against guys who aren't durable, who've been stopped before, and I think these are showcase spots for two guys to look good offensively. Do you have an opinion on these two? And if not, it's all good.
you said Ramon Cardenas.
No,
Um,
Brandon Mosqueda is fighting
oh
Edwin Palomares, and Mauricio Lara, Bronco Lara, is fighting Carlos Ornelas. Are those on
yeah,
your radar or no?
I mean, I am very cautious about Laura because I mean he's come in, man, overweight. Is you just he's one of those fighters that he be like, oh, this time I've been training. This time I similar to Dave Allen to me. Is like I don't like fighters. I mean, look, I will stay away from Mauricio Laura, but I do like Brandon Muscura in that fight. I think that's a parlay leg easy. I don't because Perez, man, he coming up. I think coming up from 118, and he's been
Mm-hmm.
knocked out a couple times. He's a tough, durable Mexican journeyman. At this point, that's what he is. Will he stop him? That's really the play. You said, do you think Mosquito gonna stop him?
Oh yeah, I like Mosqueda I like Mosqueda to stop Palmares. I do. I don't think Palmares has that punch resistance anymore, and I think Mosqueda is going to come out wanting to make a statement. I think it's a great spot for him to get the stoppage, and then
One.
also to push back on Bronco. Isn't it crazy? Bronco Laura is only 28 years old. Like when people think of Mauricio Lara, like I had a chat with a guy a couple months ago. He was telling me Lara was 34. I was like, no, he's 28. He fought Lee Wood when he was an unknown kinda the first time, and then he went back over there and lost a decision. But Lara is fighting a guy, and this will be Lara's second fight of 2026, which I like. He's fighting a guy in Carlos Ornelas. Of his 5 losses, he's been stopped 4 times. And Arnelas just got stopped against Abdullah Mason a year ago, and I think that Lara is going. So that's my. I do have a 2 leg guys, a 2 leg knockout double, nothing too heavy, but I do like Lara and Mosquito on that parlay double to win by knockout. Um, that's just my read. I'm not. You don't have to follow it. You said Ramon Cardenas.
No, okay. I wanted to ask you. This is a fight I've been one. Like I said, this is the fight I've been the most torn on this week. Brandon Moore versus Brian Jennings.
Okay, let me pull those odds up. Talk to me. Tell us about it.
Um, I want to ask you what's your take on Brandon Moore? Because I'm looking at him as like he just he goes. I like it to go the distance, but I
Uh-huh.
was like he did to me. This is his first time fighting a legit guy. But Brandon Jennings is 41. You get what I'm saying? So it's
Yep.
like, and he's coming out of retirement. You get what I'm saying? So it's like
Yep.
they
Brand, you know,
trying to
Brandon's
build up
already in
more.
his early 30s too.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
know,
Yeah, what I'm saying. They
yeah,
treat him
man.
like he's like he's an up and coming prospect, but I'm like he's 31, and it's his first.
Yeah,
And
dude.
he has had no amateur really career. He just jumped into boxing because he said he wanted to see what it's about. I'm like, now
And,
you in
and
with Brad Jennings, yeah.
and it's crazy. You know, he went the distance with DeAndre Savage in his last fight, Brandon Moore. This is a guy that we watched get totally sort of you know, Kiki Torres stopped him in his only loss. Fighting a 42-year-old, I mean, are you for you to even bring this up in terms of the division itself, and this is me reading between the lines, and correct me if I'm wrong, for the division itself, for the level of sort of class that this fight is being fought at, because my book, if you look on the screen, is labeling Moore versus Jennings a C-level fight, which I think is fair. Are you flirting with the idea of taking Jennings here?
Um, it's like I said, this week. I see this fight going the distance. Brandon Moore, he doesn't. I've noticed in all his fights, he's always being is he for some reason Salida is his heavyweight guy because they keep putting him in main event slots, and that's
Mm,
a fight I see going the distance. I mean, I don't see him getting out. That's why I say they trying to build him up by putting Brian Jennings. Brian Jennings got some craft to him. You know, he
yes,
Joyce couldn't stop him. And what I'm saying,
yes.
I don't think he's gonna stop. I think that's one of the distance, y'all. If y'all, I'm gonna drop a distance parlay. I try to stay away from prop bets, but my money
Okay.
line, you know, that's gonna hit y'all. I ain't missed the money line
It,
play yet. You feel me? But
yep. Drop that drop the distance parlay. I'm riding, you know, I'm kind of riding with your sort of philosophy this week. I don't have any action on the ladies just because I got too much PTSD over the last few
hmm,
weeks, all things considered. So, um, Brandon Moore versus, you know, I got to be honest, I'm not getting props on it. The fight wasn't on my radar. When Brandon Moore comes to mind, I think about him getting stopped against Kiki. And when Brian Jennings come to mind, I got to be honest with you, I thought he was retired until you brought him up. And you know, he's fought. This will be his third fight in 2026. What's that tell you about a 41-year-old? You know, is he given one more go? Does he see sort of room in the heavyweight division domestically in North America, or does he need money? You know what I'm saying? He took 5 years off between the Joe Joyce fight and the Cotto fight. I, it might sound crazy. He's been more active. I know he's older. He's been in there with the better guys. He has a bit more sleek, you know, craft to him. He's savvy. It's not a fight that was on my radar, but I wouldn't be shocked if some of the boys would entertain Jennings being live in that one.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I see he's on the comeback because I was watching the video. You know, YB Sports, the guy in Philadelphia, and I remember he was training. I said, "Huh." I said, and then this came out the blue. I said, "Okay, he's been trying to make a comeback, but man, I'm viewing it as a desperation. You get what I'm saying? It's like you come out of retirement in your 40s. I'm looking at it like you need some money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay, so Terry is saying he thinks Carrillo is worth a sprinkle. And if you guys don't know Terry is a former pro boxer, so he grew up in the ring. So he you know, he knows what he's talking about. So he's kind of, you know, not putting words in your mouth, Julius, but he's kind of siding with you on that sort of lane. He's actually just digging his toes a bit deeper with saying Carrillo is worth a sprinkle over Najee. All right, Terry, how do you see so you think Carrillo I just didn't like his tape, guys, when I taped Carrillo. And maybe for me, it's recency bias in just the romance of our sport, watching Najee in that slugfest. You know, and I'm able to kind of look past the flaws in his defense. I think that's fair. But he has, I don't know, man. I think Najee, I've seen him be crafty before. You know what I mean? I think Najee's more versatile. I think at 26, he's still confident enough to choose to fight a certain way rather than have to be relegated to fight a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Some guys, due to their skill set, they're relegated to only being able to fight in a certain way. Najee, I've seen him before choose to not engage in slugfests, choose to not get hit as often as a guy like Gallegos, who probably had no business hitting him that much, was hitting him. So it's interesting for me. because when I watch Carrillo, I see a guy who looks he falls apart mid rounds. I don't think he has good punch resistance. So Terry says, I'm just saying that if you're going to go for Lopez, the odds don't. Yeah, okay, that's a and we are a betting community. It's very fair. Yeah, and we know how volatile the prop market is. And so Jay, you say this as of late, your prop game is simply will the fight go the distance sort of stuff rather
I'm
than
t-
method of victories.
I'm starting to pick up on that. That's something I'm starting.
Yeah.
It seems to me that when it's an upset prop, right? It's
Yep.
more looking at my data. It's been
Yep.
more going the distance as a plus than the knockout plus. You know what I'm saying? It's been less
Uh,
knockout pluses than it is distance pluses. It's been way
yeah.
more of those. Nikita Zoo versus Mahoney, that one he just happened.
Perfect
Um,
read. And we got a lot of pushback on that, man. Like I don't know if you tapped into the live yesterday, but the boys in the live yesterday were actually commenting. They were like, because I was laying out the path to victory for Ben. I was telling the boys that Ben has been fighting since he was 12 and he knows his way around a ring. And the boys were like, Johnny, it sounds like you're actually betting on Ben. And I'm like, no, I'm betting on Ben to make it to the final bell because I don't see this kid who grew up in a ring who's an undefeated pro being knocked out in his backyard in a title eliminator. And it happened, right? It's just, it went the distance. It's just the draw. So it has me thinking, like, do you know what the odds were paying? Will the fight go the distance? Was it plus money?
yeah,
Oh, God. Don't tell me that. Oh, that makes me sick. Was it really
that's
plus
why.
money?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've been this
Bro.
the pattern. This the pattern I've been picking up on. When you have a B
Bro, that
side,
might, like, do you know if Teo on points wasn't plus money? Or,
nah,
no, Teo to go the distance wasn't plus?
nah.
Okay, we hit that anyway. I can't believe Zoo to go the distance was it's this is an adjustment I'm going to make then. I think moving forward I'm going to have to take a stronger look at when I like fighters on points to mitigate the draw if I really play the distance.
Because
I'm
like I said, it
I'm
is plus
writing it
money. Like
down.
this the B side. When you have a B side who's never been stopped, and you have the odds minus 100, minus 200 not to go the distance, that is a high chance of it going the distance. You look at Yo Yo, you look at Nikita Zoo, you look at what's another recent one top of my head? Um, top of my head. I can hide that guy. I got my list with me right now, but
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna put it
I
up this
just
week.
I had to write this down. So I wasn't you lost me for the last 30 seconds. That was important. I haven't, maybe once a month I have to write something down in my book for strategy, and that was one. So sorry to cut you off, and we'll revisit it. But boys, moving forward for me, when I like a fighter to win on points as a hedge, if I already like the fighter and the fight's going to go win on points, I mean I'm going to play the distance because that I just don't. I can't be getting burned again like I got burned last night on that draw
And the draw tools, if you just want to say, I'm looking
because
at some.
it still would have hit.
Yeah.
The draw then would it wouldn't matter because it still went the distance.
Okay, another plus one. Mosita versus Beck. That was plus money to go the distance. It happens a lot. I'm starting to pick up on that. That's something that I'm looking more into. I said, okay, man, that distance. That
I was told, I'm not here to. This isn't. I don't even think this is rumor. I think Cohen, and I'm going to say the same thing you heard me say a couple years ago about Errol, and I say it about any fighters that I think are showing signs of degradation or pugilistic dementia. Similar to our boy Liam, I think Cohen is showing evident signs of degradation in his speech. And I said that last week. I said that during the Charlo fight camp. Cohen's style, it's kind of like, let me just take as much damage and weaponize you know what I mean? It's like a D level Aussie domestic Mexican style. You know what
You're
I
right.
mean?
The first thing when he started talking, you right, it's crazy, man. You thinking it. The first thing I thought when he started talking was he has early onset pugilistic dementia.
You can
I ain't
hear
no
it.
doctor, but you can hear it in his voice. You can hear the
Yeah.
slur. And I said, man, after that, after this night, you know it's gonna get worse. Cause I'm like, and
Yeah.
man. he took hella punishment, man. Like I'm talking clean punches all night, right upside the head. And he doesn't have no head movement. Man, I'm taking Charlo by stoppage. When the fight happened, I don't think he gonna. Nah, it's gonna be way too easy to hit.
All right. So, guys, we're 40 minutes in. There's over 110 of the boys in here. Freaking best community. You 110 lot should be following Julius. I know if we have half of you boys in this chat following Julius, we're in a good spot. Julius, what's the what are you a month into your channel? What have you broken? Are you a couple hundred subs?
I think I got 250, 70 subs.
Yeah, baby. You're just getting started. You're an embryo. Keep doing it, man. It's gonna don't if I were you, don't even focus on the analytics right now. Don't just focus on your what you're doing, your content. And the analytics will sort itself out over time.
Yeah, like I said, John, you called me a good time, man. I said, start my new job. I'm gonna be slacking a little bit, but every Friday, y'all need to every Friday go to my post. We,
Julius,
we
tell them where they can find you.
Jay knows boxing.
All right, I'm gonna link it in here. And yeah, give Julius a follow. And over time, we're gonna start. Over time, boys, I expect you, the chat, to start pressuring Julius, like you guys pressured me last year, to start making more content. Because Julius, I never used to live stream until like a year and a half ago. All the comments, bro, you gotta start live streaming. I was like, I don't know how to do it. But now here we are. You know what I'm saying? So it'll help. I'm pulling up your link right now. Do you see any upsets this week? I mean, you talked about Carrillo. Is there anybody we're overlooking? Sometimes there's weeks where none of us, there aren't any upsets. Sometimes there's weeks where, the fight week comes to an end and we're like, shit, how did we not see that one? Anything that you kind of have your eye on in terms of maybe the odds have it wrong?
Hmm. Like I said, if I had to pick a guy, right, who I feel has the best chance of an upset, I'm saying Jordan White.
Jordan White. Okay, guys, that's short dog. And if you're in the chat, there's 110 right now. That link I just shared is Julius's YouTube channel. So if you guys could do me a favor, subscribe to Julius and then comment on his page so he knows you subscribed. So you think short dog does his durability or his we know what style of fight he likes, right? And we've seen him take shots before. Does does it bother you about the odds, or do you just think would that be a value play?
I mean, cause like I said, last time I watched Luis Valenzuela, he was getting hit. He was almost out of there. He
Mm,
had a lucky home run knockout, and I think
okay.
I think if I
Has
had to,
anyone has anyone taped this in the chat? Eli's in the chat. Terry's in the chat. Christos is in the chat. Has anyone watch Short Dog and Valenzuela and think that Short Dog is live? I just haven't got to it yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing two uploads today.
I'm gonna give you a variable. Whenever you have a close odds fight, and the favorite, the A side has a knockout loss, highlight a high likelihood. We talking like 1 out of 3, 30% chance of an upset that I've been calculating for 10 years. 30%. Whenever I see, because you look at Auto Wall and recent one. Whenever you have a favorite with a knockout loss, I'm looking in, and the underdog is young, never been stopped. Um, that's we'll say, but I like that fight. That's gonna be on my distance parlay. And I want to ask you because I like I don't think I fight it's on Tuesday. I really like the Japanese card. That's not it's
Yes.
not. I like. I think all Japanese gonna win. I think I really whenever they push a guy favorite,
I love the
whenever
Japanese cards, Jay.
whenever they push a guy like that with who has minimal wins, right?
Yep.
Because Kira was on Team Japan. He has a great amateur background. Whenever
Yep.
they push a guy at that age, they know something, especially in Japan.
We've seen it.
I like him to win. I think he's really close, man. That's a parlay leg. I really like him to win, and I like the Mendez. Mendez, I think that's a strawweight fight.
Plus
He loses.
480.
he loses every time he go to Japan. He hasn't won in Japan yet. Every time he goes to Japan, he loses. He's only won. He hasn't won in Japan yet. So them
Okay, so
feet
my
told.
book right now has Mendez at plus. So he's a substantial underdog here against Takeshi. So you like Kira, Diakira, you like Takeshi, and then the odds are actually interesting. And then Sugiura, the B side, is a 3-1 favorite against Mori. Are you doing a parlay? Or are you gonna just take one of these legs? Is the move to just take Kira and just at 47% and add him to something else that's happening the day before?
I mean, like I'm looking at Sam Noakes. I see him winning.
I think Sam Noakes is gonna steamroll Baranchik.
Like him. But man, I was gonna take Uumbi, but that fight been canceled. I seen it with my right
Yeah.
with Perez. That's
I'm
been
pulled
canceled.
out. I'm
Okay.
pulled out.
Cause I was thinking the same. I was like, man, he knows what's gonna happen. Well, I'm like, okay, yeah, he knew. They
Yeah.
was set. He knew.
So nothing about Canizales worries you with Kira?
He's a savvy veteran, but I feel
Mm.
like at them smaller weights,
Mm-hmm.
the only thing that the only people I've seen really beat the Japanese guys are people who are good boxers. That's not really Canales' style.
Yeah.
He's more of a stand up with you and fight, and I think it's gonna play into his hands. Like a guy, cause I say if you look at the people who've gone to Japan and won, Jonathan Gonzalez, more boxer punchers. Canales is not that. And I see,
Sugar
and I
Nunez.
Sugar Nunez. Well, he was the A side. We talking about like
Was he
the
the A
beast.
side?
Yeah, he was A
Against
side
I thought we
against.
got Sugar. I swear we got Sugar at plus money when he went to Japan.
Well, he was
Was he the favorite?
yeah.
Okay.
And I think Kira, man, he out, man. Right now, I wouldn't be surprised if he stop him. I watching. I've been watching him. I see what they thinking. Like him to Subi. Then some guys who I see in the next.
Suboy. Suboy.
They gonna
He's
be
he's a fun
champions soon.
prospect.
They gonna be champions very soon.
Yeah, he's a fun guy. I'm gonna read you one, two, three, four, five. I'm gonna read you five names. You tell me if they win or not. Corey Marksman,
Win,
Guido Vianello,
win,
Sam Noakes,
win,
Moses Ituama,
win,
Lester Martinez.
win.
All right, guys, that's a five leg I gave the boys. If you have trust in Julius and you have trust in me, that will double your bankroll, whatever you bet on, and that's live. That's in the Patreon. All right, I have that same ticket, and you know what I did in that ticket, Julius, and this is kind of a silver lining as well. Due to the Tim Zoo draw, I played this game with you 3 weeks ago, and I ran down 19 of my picks, and we disagreed on three of them. Those three haven't happened yet, and I didn't put those in this parlay because you had me quite like I didn't put I'm avoiding Chantel and Michaela just for the sake of I'm still pissed at what happened with the ladies the last few weeks. You don't bet women's boxing anyway. And then another fight that you weren't sold on. Oh yeah, it was actually the Najee Carrillo, and I took it off of that one. I'm using Najee on a separate. Actually, I don't even know if I reloaded with Najee yet. But have you posted your plays on your channel yet?
Always, let me, me and you, we do a style a little different. I see you posted Sunday, like you posted the top of the week, but
Boys get
I
itchy, Julius. Boys get itchy. They ask me. They're like, and
yeah,
I
I think
gotta.
people asking me, and I would
Yeah,
say, man, you know this. It's a great experience when people hit you up and say you helped them win some money. Cause
yeah,
people don't understand it's not easy to get money in America, man. Around the world, it's hard,
it
and you can
is.
just trust a guy who can give you some picks so you can
Yeah,
pay some bills. Cause man,
yeah.
I've
It's a
been getting the
beautiful thing, man.
messages. Hey, man, I love the messages. I know you be getting them, and
Yeah, it's
and
it's. Yep.
I'm gonna tell you right now, another play that you just brought up, right? It goes along with what I've been saying. I don't think Martinez is gonna stop planting. That's gonna be
Okay.
plus money too. I'm
Okay.
looking at.
Let
He's
me
a
check.
beast. He's young, 29, great amateur pedigree, and if Lester Martinez couldn't stop,
Ishmael,
he couldn't stop.
Aleem.
Yeah, could stop a lean. Um,
He didn't stop. He lost. The draw with him, Billy. He didn't stop him. I just don't think Lester is the puncher. I think what I've learned the last year of Lester Martinez is he was sold to us as a big puncher. I mean, it's not to say he's not good. He's not, but he just doesn't have that pop in his backhand that they told us he did. And if you take Lester on point, the points aren't even plus money. So I think the bookies have caught on to that. By the way,
okay, they called on.
they
Okay,
caught on. How crazy
okay.
is that, guys? Do you remember, guys? Every Lester Martinez up until I think up until Aleem, the knockout would be chalk and the points would be plus, and now that's flip flopped.
Cause it was plus 600 to go the distance on the lean. That's what I said.
Yeah,
That's a pattern I've been picking up on. So
I think
okay.
that's one of those. That was one of those weekends that kind of spearheaded you starting your. Didn't you take? You took Lester on points there.
I took the over. You know what I'm
The
saying?
over.
I took the over. But yeah,
Okay, guys, if you like Lester and Plantich to go the distance plus 145, I mean,
oh, it's plus 145 go the distance.
yeah. Or my bad. My bad. 52%.
Okay.
It's 52%. So
Uh,
you're getting 52% return to go the distance. But wouldn't Leicester on points at 76% be the smarter play, or would you do the distance to mitigate the draw?
man, I'm not sold on Martinez. Like I
Yeah,
think he's gonna
same.
struggle. I see him winning, but it could be a draw situation. Like cause I've been looking at Planche. I've been knowing about Planches for a minute, and he's a
Mm.
very crafty guy. And I feel like this is hands down. Well, nope, nope, nope. I wouldn't say it's his second best because but I think Plantich is world level. I think he's a top 10 guy. He's not. He doesn't. He think he's gonna win. He coming to fight. He thinking that, oh, I got him, and I like that. Like, so I look at a B side. Who is the B side? Is he a journeyman? Does he think he can win? Is this a competitive matchup? This is a competitive matchup this weekend. This is not a. It's a lot of pressure on Martinez, man. They're trying to really build him up on.
So
I see.
it's a big weekend for Croatia because Hrgovic has the opportunity to become
Okay.
Croatia's first ever heavyweight champion, and Plantic is another Croat who's in a main event spot. 13 and 0,
um,
10 knockouts, 5'11 and a half. I mean, the only thing you could, he stopped Jack Cullen, which is an okay name. The only thing you could say is that he turns over in 2018. He takes 4 years off one time. He's been a little bit more active. This is his first fight in 2026, so he hasn't fought in almost a year. I mean, I don't, I don't. When I watch his tape, he looks a bit. I don't want to call him basic, but he doesn't look like a guy that's too hard to figure out.
who you talking about? Martinez?
Plantich.
Plantich. I think, like I said, he's one of those guys. Like I've been looking more, I always trying to like build categories. Similar
Hmm.
to Mahoney. These are guys who know their way around the ring. They may
Yep.
not be explosive, they may not be flashy, but they understand how to position themselves to roll with shots, to they know how to clinch when necessary. They understand how to survive in a boxing ring. That's what
Yes.
they know. You said that like, about Mahoney. And when I
Yep.
watched the fight, I said earlier, I said, yeah, this going a distance. I didn't take
Mm-hmm.
that at distance, but I said, yeah, that's something to pick up on. When you got a
Mm-hmm.
B side, never
Mm-hmm.
been stopped,
Mm-hmm.
who knows his way around the ring, man, I'm looking at distance.
Yeah, and it's great, and this is why our community is spot on with our chat. Everybody's in the chat, and yourself and myself included, is that we learn from each other. You know what I'm saying? We pick up on things, and some people might hear us talking about, oh, they're talking about picking up on patterns. What are they talking about? It's like no, boxing is it's very insightful. You know what I'm saying? And betting on boxing is also very insightful. Now the so we covered the Plantich. You think it's going to be a competitive fight? You think the Plantich is going to win some rounds against Leicester?
I think I think that people are gonna be surprised on Saturday. I think he's gonna put up. think he's gonna lose, but I think
Yeah,
he's gonna be there. I don't think he's gonna drop him. I think he's gonna be there
yeah,
all night.
yeah. Okay, so that's a. I just right now I have a play. Damn, there's so many fights. I think sometimes we could give ourselves anxiety with seeing all the different options, which is actually a good issue to have. Terry Lance says they're positioning Martinez for Canelo. Unfortunately, the dirty part of boxing will show its face if it's close. This is coming from a guy who was a professional boxer. Chat, if you didn't know that, so that's he knows the game inside and out. Plantage isn't world level. Be careful, Mel. Be careful taking pro box distance until you see the ring size. The last time Najee fought, the ring was the size of a shoebox. What are we thinking of, Julius? I haven't heard your take, and sometimes I could get a little bit big eyed with young, flashy North American prospects. You know the marketability. What's your take, personal take, on Corey Marksman?
They building him up. I like how they building him in that part of the country. You notice that he keeps putting in with Puerto Ricans, right? At this point, he calls himself the Puerto Rican Slayer. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's full Puerto Rican. And
Yeah.
I think it's one thing about Puerto Rico. It's one of those places where it's a billion boxers,
Uh
and
huh.
it's like the guys they putting in front of him, they are there so they can sell tickets in Orlando, which is like I think like it's like the third biggest Puerto Rican population outside of like the New York, New Jersey area, and I think that yes, because I if you look through the guy, it's one thing also. This I look at if you don't have no amateur background, right, and all you fighting is low tier opposition, you're manufactured. I'm gonna give you a guy. I'm gonna give you a chat. Everybody, listen. Listen up. Manufactured fighter. What is that? Sundre Simmons. That was a manufactured fighter. Yes, he was undefeated. Yes, he had 9 knockouts. But if you look through him, he ain't fought nobody of note, and he was just there to build up Kieran Rustin. Similar
Mm.
to I see Corey Marksman fighting Pareto.
Beretta. Do you think
Similar.
that Beretta? Do you think that Beretta is a step down from Gomez, Marksman's last opponent?
Yeah.
So do I. So do I. And that's what it was kind of like. I wanted to see where your head was at, and I didn't want to. The teacher. I know you're a teacher as well. So the teacher in me doesn't want to give. I don't like giving the answer first. It's how we frame the question, right? When I'm doing the tape, and the Gomez, we ended up getting. So the bookies are catching on to us too because Marksman opening lines against Gomez was a plus 140, and now he's obviously the favorite against Beretta, and Marksman looked fantastic. It was nip and tuck for the first few rounds, but you got to see Marksman's class, pace, versatility really start to frustrate Gomez. When I watch Beretta's tape, all I really see is kind of a decent lead hook. He's kind of sneaky with it, but I don't. I think that Gomez would beat Beretta easily. Why do you think? Do you think the matchmaking? Do you think this matchup? Then you got to say then this matchup is made for Corey to shine.
Yeah, and this is something I noticed. It doesn't happen a lot, but I remember. Okay, with this, it's an old example, but I remember Pacquiao was watching when I was coming up. I didn't pick up on it, but I see it now. When they first brought him to America, what they did, they kept putting him in with Mexicans. They put him in with Barrero. They put him in with Morales. They put him in with Juan. uh and the guy you know what I'm talking about. And they
Yeah.
built him as the executioner. I remember used to call him that. I didn't get it. They are building
Hmm.
Corey Marshman as the Puerto Rican executioner. That's what they doing. That's what they build him
Yeah.
as. You bring the Puerto Rican fan base in. He's
Yep.
gonna his black guy, flashy black guy. They all rooting against him,
Yep.
but and they want him to lose, but he gonna win. They gonna all
Do
root
you
for the.
Yeah, this is why I'm interested in the promotional side of things because when you see a guy who goes into a fight week as a dog and you see him excel and shine, and then in his very next fight they wrap a main event around him. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I knew Corey Marksman was on my prospect list 2 years ago. I've covered his last three fights, but all of a sudden now it's great to see Corey getting a main event spot. It's almost to me because my final point is, is it? Do you see him stopping Beretta?
If I had to lean one way, I gotta say Beretta's a nobody in boxing to me, man. He's a manufactured guy, man. And when he get in the ring, I don't know how he gonna deal with the pressure from Marshman. Cause Marshman is gonna throw some heat with him. I don't think he never faced it. Cause like I said, Beretta was fighting guys, man, 1 in 21, one in nobodies. And I ain't
Yes.
trying to diss them, they all professional boxers, but it's levels, it's tiers to boxing. And every guy, Marshman. No, I mean, if I had to say, I mean, it reminds me this fight. I look people disagree with me, but there are patterns that I see. I'm picking up
Yeah.
on. This reminds me exactly of a fight yet of yesterday, today, my bad, today where I'm at of Kira Rustin and Sandra Simmons. Because I was watching it while watching the Australian card, they was like, "Ooh, Kira Rustin is in there with a power puncher. He's
Yeah.
undefeated. He's this and that." And I'm like, man, y'all not doing. Y'all just looking
They
at
weren't in
that.
our chat. They weren't in our Discord.
That makes sense because I said we look past the O. Just
Yeah.
having the O is not to me. It like
No.
I said, boxing is circus. The O
Uh-huh.
could be, what I'm saying, it's see, they thinking that, oh, this is the conference championships, like in NFL basketball. If both teams are undefeated, they are legit. Ain't no you can't be an undefeated team in MLB, NFL, college football and be a mirage. But in boxing, we got guys in boxing around the world 20 and 0, 30 and 0, 50 and 0, who ain't never done nothing.
Yeah. The kid from Texas comes to mind who's what, 46-0?
Yeah,
Who's who's never fought out of the C level, maybe D level. So what I thought of you when they made the Sandre Simmons matchup for Kira is because I knew Sandre, he had that Bermuda connection. the last one of your last takes was about the Bermuda national team. So did you know Simmons didn't make the Bermuda national team?
Um, he didn't. I
He
say
did.
I knew. Yeah, I knew he didn't make it because
He
he,
didn't
he was
make the
a.
Bermuda national team. And a couple weeks ago, the take was just because someone made the Bermuda national team, that doesn't mean anything. So in my head, I'm like, this dude didn't even make the Bermuda national team.
It's like places in the world, It's like if somebody said I made the Myanmar national team, I'm gonna look at you like, But I mean, even like I said, the Puerto Ricans, I'm thinking they just have so many boxers that I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, what is the boxing program in Puerto Rico? I'm like, it's amazing that the island could produce that many professional boxers. Cause I'm like,
Yeah,
it's only
it's
like
a way
four.
out. It's a
It's
way
only like
out. It's
4 million.
baseball and boxing.
It must know, like I said, it must be a boxing gym on every corner. Cause it's
Well,
like, yeah,
Eli says I respect. So listen, this is why it's important, boys, to not have an echo chamber. We need both perspectives. Eli says I respect Corey still taking a shot at Barreto. He's a real 135 pounder with Kodo Promotions. He's hungry, coming with everything. If Corey gets sucked into a firefight, watch out. I brought this up in my breakdown. I did a breakdown analysis of this matchup, and the one thing I did mention, Eli, is the fact that I do like Beretta's lead hook. Only because it's sharp, it's clean, he disguises it. Some guys who are boxer punchers, their lead hook, they go to the well too much and it's loopy. They're not turning their whole body. Like Beretta throws his, he'll disguise it with his shoulder and like he's thrown it at an awkward angle. And I've seen him hit guys with it. I just don't know. It's hard to see if he's going to be on the level of Corey because Corey's going to give him that fight. And if Eli is his point comes to fruition, I then think the knockout would be live because I don't know if Beretta will be able to not necessarily deal with Corey's power, but Corey's power and volume because Corey throws a lot of punches.
yeah, but right now, hey, Garrett, oh no, my bad, Johnny.
Johnny.
My bad,
Come on, boo boo.
hey,
3D in the
but
house. Gary's probably in the shadows. Shout out to 3D.
but Johnny, man, I'm gonna have to hit you back, man. But hey, look,
Yeah.
man, look, watch out for I'm dropping that distance parlay on Friday. Friday,
Yes, sir.
you know what time it is. Let's eat.
Yep. How about this? Every time you drop it, when you do it in our Discord, tag me at least so I can reshare it too, okay?
All right.
Yeah. All right, brother. Be good. Thanks for stopping by. All right, guys. Hour and 5 minutes. There's 117 of you in here. Does anyone else want to come on the live right now? Does anybody want to talk about a specific fight? Eli, just to let you know, I like Corey in this spot, but I see the danger in the matchup too. And it was interesting that the question I wanted to ask Julius, you guys heard me, was does he think that Beretta is a state? Do you think Beretta is a step down from Gomez, Eli? What's your take? Who would win? Because I was impressed by Jacob Gomez. I thought Jacob Gomez, where he fell short against. All right, Eli. I'm doing it right now. Where I felt Jacob fell short was not being able to keep up the pace, but that was like after the fourth or fifth. It was very close for the first half of that fight, and like always, we were sweating. I'm dropping it real quick. Invite guests, copy. All right, Eli. So, guys, this is one of our JSB insiders, Eli, and he's dropping a good perspective, an opposite perspective on the marksman outcome. So, it's always important to hear both sides, and I'm always open to being entertained on both sides too, because even though I watched all the Beretta tape I watched, I still didn't get a good inclination of will he be able to withstand marksman's versatility. And marksman's a guy who used to, on the way up was known as a guy who was stopping people, and Beretta stops people. So then it's like, will marksman be able to take Beretta's lead hook? We'll see. All will be known in due time. That's what I always say. All right, Eli, I'm bringing you on. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Johnny, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear. Talk to me, brother. Talk to us about Beretta.
Man, I did a lot of homework on Beretta or Barretto.
Yep, Beretta. My bad. Yep, Beretta.
No, you're good. You're good. But look, he got with Coda Promotions about, I would say, a couple years ago, maybe more than 2 or 3 years ago. And he's been with Coda Promotions, fighting locally in Puerto Rico. There isn't a lot of 135 pounders that he can fight in Puerto Rico. The money's not there. This is his first big shot. I watched a lot of his interviews. He's hungry. He's a stocky 135er. And if you've seen him fight, he has really good speed. And and I'm Puerto Rican myself. And the problem I got with Puerto Rican fighters, they're all offense and they lack defense. And it's frustrating. This guy has both. He has good speed. He has power. He has good defense. You'll see him on the high guard. He counters well. He moves his feet well. I watched Corey's last fight just recently. And the guy that he fought, I forget his name. I just said it on
Jacob Gomez.
Thank you.
Yes.
He came up from 130 to 135. Barretto has been a 135.
He's a bit of a tank.
Yeah. But he's been a 135 all his life, his whole boxing career. He's number one in Puerto Rico. That might not be, a big deal, but he has that confidence like, oh, I'm number one. I'm coming to take it. Uh-huh. That's the attitude that I've gotten from him, from listening to him. I don't really follow a lot of boxers, but this one, for some reason, intrigued me and interested me in his style and the way he fights. And he's aggressive, but he has like that smart aggression. And I saw Corey in the last fight. He loves to, like you said yourself, he loves that firefight. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's him or he just gets sucked into him, lack of discipline. I don't know what it is, because he can just make it boring and outbox you. He has those tools. I'm not stupid.
He kind of has that. He has a little bit of that cloth of Abdullah Mason, not stylistically, but of that sort of psychology.
Right?
I've heard him speak about this, and as of now, he does have that draw in a nip and tuck. I think it was a 6-rounder, but as of now, nobody's really made him pay for that. You know what I'm saying? Some guys, usually guys with that psychology throughout a career, eventually somebody's going to catch up, whether you're getting older and you catch a young buck on the way up, that sort of thing. But marksman does have the versatility, and it's what I brought up earlier when Julius was on, is the fact that some guys have to fight certain ways, and some guys have versatility to where they choose to fight in different spots. And I think marksman is going to entertain Beretta's wheelhouse.
Absolutely. And that's what I'm banking on. Don't get me wrong. I took the distance, and on some parlays, I took Corey because he has more. He is the all around or overall better boxer. I realize that, but to that point where he's going to succumb to that firefight, that is, like you said, Barreto's wheelhouse. That's where he thrives. And on top of that pressure coming towards Corey, and remember, this is for Corey, the whole promotion, everything else. But where are we fighting? Orlando. All Puerto Ricans. This is going to be a Barreto crowd. And if you look at the last fight, who did you have winning? You had Corey wide, right?
Against Jacob Gomez.
Yeah.
I got him at plus 140. I picked Marksman on points. I had him. Yeah, I thought he looked great. He shined enough to get, because like Marksman for me is a guy that most people still, unless you're in our nerds like us, he's not a household name.
No.
And his last two performances though were so significant that he kind of, like, you could tell he's the type of guy, and he comes from a camp where they've always known, but now promoters are he's a main event now, and I think that this matchup is sort of like a springboard. And the chat is saying do you know when Barreto started boxing? Barreto?
According to him, at the age of 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's been in the gym since 7. He's hyping his fellow countrymen. It's okay to hype our fellow countrymen. I'm trying to see Alex Bray. So, what's your official pick of
My
this fight? You
official
said you
pick
like
is the distance, and on my second parlay, I'm taking the over.
Okay.
I don't see a knockout on this fight.
Okay.
But what I was saying from before, the last fight, one judge had it 94-96. Okay.
Yes. Yep.
This fight is going to be a lot closer. And if I dig even deeper, it's the Florida Commission. It's going to sound silly, but it's true. They're going to have at least 1 or 2 Hispanic judges. Okay. It's going to be a Puerto Rican crowd. It's in Orlando. If Barreto puts that pressure, like I know he will, all fight and comes in hungry, they might give it to the pressure fighter. So that's why I say I'm taking the over and I'm taking the distance, because I don't think, unless Corey upgraded overnight, I don't think it's going to be an easy fight for him at all.
What do you mean? Clarify what you mean by unless he upgraded overnight.
Like from the last fight, how he got into the firefight?
Where do you think that he felt that he needs to upgrade?
I think he could have made it easier in the last fight. He got too much into the pocket and he took a lot of shots that he didn't need to.
Okay, so tactically.
I think he could have outboxed his last opponent easily, and he took a lot of shots, and that's why one of the 3 judges had it close.
The optics of it. Okay, so when you say unless he upgraded, you're not referring to any physical flaws, like, because I see physicality wise, this is a kid, you don't see many guys, like, he's switching too. I like when he switches stances. He'll switch within a combo. My issue with Corey right now is I don't know how much he needs to market the way he's marketing. Like, part of me sometimes wishes guys who are that skilled and has that style would go back to like a Marvin Hagler-esque. Marvin Hagler to give a shit about the whole sort of marketing side. And I know the world has changed. He let his fighting do the talk. I think boxing is in a day and age where that would still work. You know what I mean? Like, you got a guy kind of like an Ammo Williams, but Ammo's not as, doesn't have the tools that Corey Marksman has.
No, and you're saying like this could be a distraction for Corey and it could be detrimental, right?
That's where I'm not saying it will be, but when I'm, from a psychological perspective, branding and entrepreneurial perspective, when I watch Corey, it's kind of like, I don't know if that's just a gimmick, the too smooth, the sort of thing, because he doesn't fight like that. It's not for me. His marketing side isn't congruent with what I see the fighter packages. That fighter packages, there's a lot to like about that.
Right. And then he's going against a guy who, has been working nonstop and is his first big opportunity in his life. He's never had an opportunity like this. He's been waiting for this for years. So, people in the chat can say I'm hyping my countrymen. I get all
It's a
that.
good thing.
Yeah,
That's what
no,
we're
and
supposed to
I
do.
get it, but when we're betting, we have to be neutral. You
Yeah,
know that.
of
We
course.
can't be hyping because we got money on the line. It's important. But I'm seeing it as a perspective as like this is his first chance. He's going to be hungry versus a guy who gets into firefights. Maybe he's putting too much time into the marketing. I'm not saying he is, but it could. Little increments like that, little variables can make a difference when a guy's coming forward. And I don't know if you've seen Barreto fight before. I
I've
mean,
watched same.
he's a
I've watched
dog.
his. No, yeah, no. It's a lot. It's hard to tell when you don't have the question answered regarding level of competition, and
Yes.
so sometimes if I can't answer that, I then have to take. I don't know how. Like, would you think that Barreto would beat Jacob Gomez,
Oh yeah.
Mark's
Oh
Marksman's
yeah.
last opponent? You think
Yes.
he would?
I think he would.
Interesting.
I think he would. I mean, did you see the fight with Barreto and Acosta?
No, I didn't see that fight.
Oh my God.
I didn't
So
see the. I didn't see
Acosta,
the whole. I didn't see the whole fight.
okay. So Barreto
Yeah.
was a huge underdog because Acosta was with the promotion.
hmm
I think it's Las Vegas or it was somewhere in America. And Acosta was with the promotion, heavy favorite. And Barreto just whooped his ass from round one to the end of the fight.
Okay.
So, it's a different fight because Acosta was more of an aggressor, Mexican style, but heavy puncher. And
Yeah.
Barreto just had great he surprised me with the defense because that's what a lot of Puerto Ricans lack. They have the offense, but they suck at defense. So Barreto has that, and he has one
Did
of the
you
best
mention this
trainers in
fight
Puerto
in our
Rico.
Discord? Did you mention because
I've been
somebody
out of
mentioned
it,
the
Johnny. No,
you
I've been
didn't?
out of it. I haven't been
Okay.
active on Discord at all. No.
Somebody mentioned the Acosta fight, and when I typed his name up, it's a saved tab on
Mhm.
my phone, and I'm like, why
Mhm.
is it saved? Oh, it was the last fight. He never fought again after that Barreto fight. It was a 6-rounder, so he
He
hasn't
never
fought
fought
since.
again?
No, he never took another fight after that fight.
Holy shit.
That was 3 years
Wow.
ago. Almost 3 years ago to the day, August 25th, 2023.
And that was Barreto's first fight in the US. And it showed you how hungry he was back then. Now, the stakes are even higher. This is for 2 freaking belts on DAZN. And if Barreto wins, he knows, he already said it. This is going to jump shot my career to another level that I can't even imagine. I'm not going to let this happen. And look, I get it. Boxers say this, but I see the hunger in this guy. He fights this way. So Corey should win. I don't want the chat to be like, oh, this guy is just whatever. No, Corey should win, but
He's in
I
for a
think
fight.
he's in for a fight, and Corey
Yeah,
likes to fight. He
yeah,
likes
he
to be
does.
in a fight, in a street fight.
Yeah, it's
So
good. It's fun. I'm excited about this fight. The reason why, if
it's
you look at
my
the
favorite fight of the week.
same, when you look at the breakdowns, some weeks I won't do a stats don't lie video, and some weeks I'll do 4. Right, a fight really has to interest me. I
Yeah.
broke this fight down on my channel. I was like, this fight is flying under the radar.
Oh,
Marksman versus Barreto.
absolutely. I've been
So
looking for the press conference and I can't even freaking find it on the zone.
yeah, it's good to see. Hey Eli, man, I know you've been supporting the channel for a long time. It's really great to put a voice on the name,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna have to wrap it up soon. But you're always welcome to come on, man, and good luck with your bets this weekend. And I appreciate your support.
All right, man, Johnny, I appreciate you, man. You do a great job and keep up the great work, man.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir. I appreciate you, brother.
All right, peace.
All right, guys, we've been on for an hour and 20 minutes. That was Eli. Eli goes, and this is why it's important to have contrasted opinions. Eli didn't come on here trying to sell you on anything. He just gave us a different perspective, and I was already excited about Marksman versus Beretta. That's why I brought the fight up. That's why I broke the fight down. And sometimes if I find myself a little bit too high on a fighter, I always ask the chat, I'm like, am I tripping on this? Like, am I not seeing something? And it happened, doesn't happen a lot. A couple weeks ago, we had maybe 30% of you guys were saying Oliha was going to beat McKenna. And I remember saying right off in the chat, I was like, am I tripping? Am I not seeing it? Because I think that Aaron McKenna was world class. And then two years ago, I did a video on Aaron McKenna would be a world champion one day at 160. That was 2 years ago. And so I remember asking you guys, am I tripping? Maybe I'm just seeing, and same thing with marksman. And like when I look at Corey, the versatility, the psychology of how he fights, and it wasn't supposed to be a negative perspective on my end about his marketing, the nickname, how he comes in, which it's the entertainment business, right? I just think that it's not. Some guys pull it off in terms of like, I'm trying to think somebody who might pull that stuff off, like the smoothness, sort of swag coming, and then the record as well. Like I don't think marksman has to do that, and I don't think that. I'm not. I guess what I am. I guess I'm challenging the authenticity of the marketing. I guess I am, because his style is awesome. His style is TV friendly. He's super skilled. Yeah, I put him up there as another one. There's probably a short list of North American fighters that don't get spoken about enough, that aren't household names, and he's in my top 10 of that category. 25 years old, maybe 26, and it's great to see him getting a main event. I always talk about Tony Hirsch Jr. as well. I think he's another one of those guys, and the versatility, the skill set. I think Marksman just has a seasoning to his game. Marksman had like how he operates, being not even in his physical prime, the switching of the stances, the hand speed, the punch placement, his willingness to fight in the pocket, his body punching. He could fight at range if he wants to, but he wants to like meet you in the middle and psychologically take what you think you're good at, and he'll entertain that. If you pull that off, if you're successful at that style, it's how you build stars, and it's good to see that whoever's backing him, his promotional team, they're seeing that, and that's why he's getting this main event. Marksman at home, they have set it up from always. Suna versus Hadith. What's up, brother? JSB Insider, but equal bias is real. We all have our biases, you know what I'm saying? And I think that it's okay to be biased. If you guys ever catch me being biased, call me out. That's, you know what I'm saying? You guys will be biased. It's the best sport in the world. I actually gotta say, it's not like Eli was being biased though. Eli was just coming on to drop a different perspective. I don't think that was a biased take at all. I think that this was coming from a guy who, has watched more full fights of Christian than I have. I was told to watch that Acosta fight. I couldn't find that Acosta fight. Eli probably watched that live. You know what I'm saying? This is why our community is well educated, and this is why we're growing. This is why week in and week out we find our victories, is because we're filled with guys from all around the world. And, not everybody is going to have the most knowledge about every fighter that we break down. So I think it's a good thing. I think Eli did an exceptional job actually not being biased. I literally said Corey should win, but gave my counters. It's all good, man. What's up, Bricks? He on upset. He live? He live? Were you in the Discord, boys? Who in this chat said that Sandra Simmons was live? You guys remember that? We're almost 90 minutes in. There's 100 of you. Is there any more fights you want me to bring up? We have somebody said what is the comeback? What is the comeback ticket? What is the comeback ticket? God, we won 3 tickets last night. We went 3 out of 4. And technically we won all of them. It's just our draw got voided. But even on our channel, it's like we've lost everything if we don't go on. It's fine. I'm used to it. Suna, you good, Eli? Yeah, Suna, we know you're good. Mr. Shot you an email, Grandmaster. Mr. Get what money? Let's see, brother. Oh, you joined. You became an insider. King Jacob, Grandmaster. So class 26, keep your head, no limit, main event. Wow. Nice, man. I got it. I'm going to read it when I get off air. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, Mr. Get Well Money. I'm here for it. Guys, I'm going to wrap it up. I got a lot of work to do, man, on this end. I'm going to drop the Najee Lopez. I'm not convinced on Carrillo. So, like, Jay, he didn't sell me. I've already watched the tape. When I watch Carrillo, I just don't see it. I see a guy in Carrillo. I question him being able to take punches. I question his sort of output. I don't think Najee's a lot to deal with, man. I'm excited for this fight. I just don't think Carrillo's better than Najee Lopez. And at this stage in Najee's career, I'm not ready to fade him. Like, he definitely not a guy like Carrillo. One day we'll fade him. I'm not saying we're never going to bet against him, but that's a skill in itself. You know what I'm saying? Being able to fall, like Eli and I just talked about two fighters that I guarantee nobody in your circle have ever heard of, right? You're outside your boxing circle. And, following a guy like Corey Marksman, let's say Corey gets past Beretta. I'm not saying Corey's going to retire undefeated, become a Hall of Famer, but because we watch his entire career, we're going to see fight after fight. Oh, shoot, he's starting to struggle when he steps up. Or, oh, Corey struggles with counterbot. And then as he gets older and we learn more data on said fighter, in this case, the example is Marksman, you then begin to understand, hey, maybe this is the time we fade him. And that in itself is a sharp skill within betting. Knowing the timing when it is to fade a fighter. And I'll always remember, you guys told me, give me 1 second. Hey, Glut, I'm on a live stream right now.
Oh, okay.
How pretty. He's sexy ass kid. I'll call you back.
Bye.
Bye. Love that bit. But you guys are the ones who told me, that it was time that Resendez. Not everybody. There were two people. I wish I remember your name. I'll never forget that. I always remember my losses. They're like, nah, Plant's faded. Plant's been on my fade list. I was like, bro, Armando Resendez is coming up a division. He freaking ate the one dog. I was like, I don't see it. Caleb was coming off the fight against the Cowboy. And yeah, a couple of boys in the chat told me to fade him. You were right. All right, guys, let's get this money. I'm passing on Quicksand for real. I'll see you guys soon. Best community around, man. 100%.